Today I want to talk about the pros and cons of two top-tier in-game builds on Last Epoch, and then give my opinion as to what I think is the best. I still have more classes and builds to play, but I definitely think there are things each build can objectively do better than the other. I also think there's a lot of subjective preference aesthetically in terms of what you want your gameplay to look like and feel like. For instance, do you want there to be more margin for error, be more tanky, more relaxed gameplay, or do you want it to be more mechanically challenging, more glass cannon, but you maybe do more damage? Runemaster definitely has Falconer beaten in the tankiness department because of ward and because intelligence is their main stat. They also, in my opinion, have better projectile pathing, at least the frostclaw. Whenever I'm shooting explosive traps with the Falconer, they have to arch up into the air and come back down. That's when I'm shooting them with the bow. Because of that simple fact, I'm a lot more vulnerable to enemies getting close to me and doing damage. I have to essentially stop, shoot, let the Falcon down. That's the reason why the throwing trap version pushes higher corruption. If you see the version that's doing like 3,000, 3,500 corruption, which just takes a ton of time to get there, and it's not even intended. I don't think 40,000 ward like you're seeing in this video is intended. I think the Falconer has much higher single target DPS and DPS in general, but it's way less survivable. It seems like something like a Warlock or the Runemaster would be way more survivable than the Falconer. Falconer's just like a glass cannon in my opinion, from my experience. Runemaster really has a cheese boss strategy where you can just keep attacking. You can keep them perma-freezed, or you basically have infinite mana. You can just keep attacking, as you've seen in the beginning of this video, whether it was the time when I was stutter stepping or fighting the monolith boss and just spamming frostclaw. I literally just had the auto attack held down constantly. Seems like with the Falconer you die to off-screen things and stuff that you don't see way more than the Runemaster, despite not even seeing what's going on the screen. You're just holding down the button with the Runemaster, which makes it a much better farming option in my opinion. I think the Falconer comes in handy doing something like a Julra run because you can just take out bosses way faster amount of time. You can also get through the labyrinth on the way to Julra or on the way to the mountain just a lot quicker. So it's nice to have as a boss farmer. I think for prophecies, I think for safety, I think even just the ward builds essentially override a lot of the negatives of the game. I'm really glad that I played both a life-based build and a ward-based build, because a lot of the things on the ward-based build I would have never seen if I didn't play a life-based build. It would have been one of those things like, oh, didn't happen to me, so it must not exist. You know, one of those type of situations. I got to see both sides. So I feel like I have more of a even understanding of it rather than being super biased to one end of the spectrum. Like, I think that it's undeniable that the Falconer, if you see Falconer versus T4 Julra, it takes her out faster. But at the same side, I could go and do T4 Julra with my ward-based character and literally just stand next to her and tank her. It won't be quite as fast, and I don't have as much run speed on my Runemaster. The convenience that it has and the ability to not really have to worry about getting shot by the archer off screen or the axe throwers or the frame drops or anything, despite total chaos going on the screen. Just, it says something about the ward builds. Essentially, when I was fighting the dragon, the Emperor of Corpses, at the beginning of this video, I was holding down right click on the mouse and watching my action bar for when I could freeze him again, and then literally just going through my other casts, continually boosting up my ward with my mana basically never ending. So I don't have to worry about dodging things the same way that I would on the Falconer. I don't have to be aware of what monsters are in the monolith I don't have to worry about mechanics. It's just a totally different situation. Some people could maybe say, how do you get satisfaction just holding the button down and killing everything? I guess at the end of the day, somebody could also say, how do you get satisfaction out of playing a less optimized or optimal build with the Falconer compared to a Ward build? How do you get satisfaction out of that? It's just a video game. At the end of the day, you're not any better than anybody. That bragging about being good at the games like bragging about being good at watching TV. You know, that could be somebody's legitimate opinion. At the end of the day, I enjoy both of them. I'm going to use both of them still. I'll probably play the Falconer more in the future after I get red rings. And I might actually give red rings to the Falconer first before I decide to push higher on this character. Because I have 2 ocean rings with 2 LP. I can actually make another video if you want showing this character. I really just followed the Frozen Sentinel build guide. He really has a really good high corruption tanky version of this. I'm just using the same thing. I'm only on 200 something corruption. I probably won't push past 1,000, but you know, I want to be able to do prophecies more efficiently to be able to get red rings. I like the combination of having an insanely high DPS single target character as well as having a really good monolith farming character. The reason that I would refer to the Falconer more as a single target is simply due to the fact that it's just way less safe. You're way more susceptible to getting killed by enemies off screen, by AoE attacks covered by enemy corpses. Even things like when you're running through the level and there's obstructions to your vision because there's like a tree, some type of terrain or some type of like environmental thing that's not even in the map area that just like blocks your vision momentarily, that can get you killed. Those aren't really issues on the Ward build. Additionally, I really think just cold damage is so much better than everything else due to how safe it is. Anytime I think of the frostclaw Runemaster, I can't help but think about the Mosaic Assassin in Diablo 2 Resurrected. It's just incredibly broken, melts everything, covers the whole screen in AoE effects, slows down the frame rate of the game, and I love it.